This is the Cyderbaby pod. Today I'm speaking to Steve Hughes from Rockin The Bowl. Hello.
Yeah, it's really nice to see you again.
And you, mate. You're looking well for a man who's got a festival weighing down on him very fast.
Oh yeah, well, acting is a bonus in this game.
I had the pleasure of going last year. I was really pleased. It was a cracking event. If I had a hat, I would tip my hat to you, sir.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that.
There were a few. Obviously, COVID was more prominent in everybody's mind back then. This year it seems a little bit more relaxed.
Yeah, it's kind of a bit of a weird one, really. I mean, COVID's gone away, but it hasn't. You know, if we look in the news, it's there still, and it's on the increase, but less people are being hospitalized. And I think a combination of people thinking, I'm sick of it now, I'm just going to go out no matter what. And a few other people who are still a little bit nervous of it. And it's sort of edged their bets. And that kind of affects the music industry a bit. Along with band members here and there getting COVID and then cancelling the gig or cancelling a tour in some cases. There's still a bit of nerves about, but as a general rule, it's kind of back.
Yeah. I think another thing we've had this year is a rash of lead vocalists leaving. Like choir boys. Well, sorry, he was fired, but yeah,
okay,
sort of. Whatever. I mean, his own band, but it's been quite a few lead vocalists. I mean, Ginger Wildheart and Wild Hearts have parted ways, and Rob Cooksley and Sons of Liberty, and
yeah, you know, Rob's a great friend of ours, and so is the replacement, Rob Walker.
Yeah,
really nice guys, and thankfully the Sons have managed to continue, and Rob, I think, has got a couple of irons in the fire as well. But yeah, it seems to be a sort of epidemic of lead singer dropout situations. I don't quite know what's going on there.
Oh, it must have been something I said.
Yeah, I'd like to be a fly on the wall on some of them and actually find out how it is.
For me, I just don't want to know. Let them just regroup and come back stronger. So
true enough.
I mean, this sort of leads me to the choir boys thing you had with Rockin The Bowl. I mean, you've now sort of replaced him with Mason Hill. I mean, that is a stellar move, I think.
Yeah, well, when the whole thing kicked off, so to speak, we sat down. Obviously, the team got together and discussed the matter quite in depth, and we spoke to a few people, emailed a few people to find out what was going on. And it just seemed to me that this was not going to go away, and it was not going to get better either. And so we were stuck in that position where we thought, well, there could be two choir boys. By the time Rockin The Bowl comes along, there could be two of them, and we're contracted to book the choir boys. And so that, that leads to some kind of confusion going on, not to mention songwriting credits and who's allowed to play what. So the only sensible thing we could do was stay neutral on which one is the choir boys and who did what to whom, and just say, look, sorry guys, no can do. Immediately we got a couple of emails from people saying, well, we'll like to do it, we'd like to do it, we'll replace them. And some reasonably good names, some big names too, big for us and at this level. And in the end, we weighed up the pros and cons and just thought, you know what, Mason Hill, they can do it, they're worth it, and they're ready to step up. So we had a word with Mason Hill, who readily said, yeah, absolutely. And the deal was done.
Yeah, good. So it takes some balls, basically, to put a band like Mason Hill on top of a bill on a Friday night. But I think everybody in our little community has appreciated it. So, well done.
Thank you. Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't think it was as ballsy as it appears at the end of the day, because you're kind of on a win-win situation here. The people who know Mason Hill and have seen her before know how incredibly good they are. Their stagecraft is incredible and their musicianship's great. And those who are skeptical are going to leave completely changed. That, oh, didn't think they'd be that good, but hey, hands up, you got it right.
Yeah.
So I think we already knew we were onto a winner by grabbing hold of Mason Hill and putting them up to top spot.
Yeah. Who else have you got on Friday night then?
Oh, well, I think the best of, it's hard to, shouldn't say the best of the rest, because there is no the rest. It sounds like they're not, every single one of them is as good as each other. I think Ward 16 will definitely turn some heads, and through going to see them a couple of times here in Sheffield and again in Nottingham, on a smallest of stage at the Salutation, and what they packed onto that stage and what they brought across, they're like, you know, these guys are going to need more time and a bit more stage for sure. And so we also just popped them up a little bit more so that they got the chance to show what Ward 16 really can do. And it's incredible. They'll turn some heads for sure.
Yeah, I saw my Bloodstock at the Sophie tent, and just fantastic.
Yeah, it's natural progression from Alice Cooper, I would say. You know, in many ways, it's got a very similar vibe to it, but just a little bit of twistedness, but theatrical and a little bit tongue in cheek, a little bit harmless as well. For the rest of Friday, it's a mixed bag. Revival Black are riding high at the moment, and so we've grabbed hold of their Doomsday Outlaw, of course, are always a good solid bet. A few local ones and a couple of we do like to stick in a few bands that people just simply have no idea who they are. And so they come as a real surprise when people see them. And we got one of those in the Chris Cooper band, which is a name that is virtually unknown outside their native area of Scunthorpe. But people will just sort of wander past, and they do stop you in your stead and go, do you know, that's really good. And so that's what we're hoping they'll do. And that's the plan. And a few local guys like Tom Kilner, who everybody in this area knows quite well. Staple diet, you know exactly what you're going to get, and he'll deliver it. And so it's a good start to the weekend, a nice combination of party and just easing you into the mayhem for the days to come.
Okay, so leading on then, Saturday. Who are your
Saturday? Saturday, we deliberately try to go a bit heavy on the Saturday with a small sort of peak across towards Bloodstock styling. And so I thought, right, we're going to really sort of heavy things up compared to last year, which was a very mixed bag of rock, classic rock, folk rock, country rock, a little bit milder. We thought, no, let's go a bit more metal on this. Ben Ward is a fantastic guy, you know, both on and off the stage. So Orange Goblin were an obvious choice, and happily they said yes. Diamond Head, of course, is sort of a legend in their own lifetime, sort of thing. Very underrated. Been around for such a long time, so we couldn't not when we had the chance. And then supplement them with some good old-fashioned, new-fashioned, new wave of classic rock style stuff. King Creature going on there. Guerrilla Riot are all friends there, so with a bit of a doom stoner / country fusion rock going on. So we can expect Saturday to be heavy.
Good. Good.
I'm glad you approve.
Yes, you've got my mark of approval there, so that's fine.
Fantastic.
So Sunday you've got Terrorvision.
Terrorvision came out of the blue.
You're telling me.
It's a bit of a crazy situation with Terrorvision. We had another band that we booked, and they were almost nailed on, and we were just waiting for contracts to get signed. And there was a bit of toing and froing, and for whatever reason, which we're not going to go into, it was supposed to happen, then it didn't happen, and then it could have happened, then it might not have happened, and we're like, can we get it over the line? Come on, let's try and get this thing done. Because out of the headliners, the Sunday was the one that we couldn't nail in. We'd approached a lot of people, but they said, no, we can't do it. We're obliged to do other ones. We don't want to. We're not in the area, etc., etc. All those things. And one of those was Terrorvision. They're like, no, sorry, we're going to be in the studio for the rest of the year doing our new album. Tony's got a few little gigs of his own. Pardon me, but apart from that, we're not doing anything. We've just got 2 gigs that we've already said we'll do, Teddy Rocks down south and a little thing in Barnsley. That's it. Oh, okay, fair enough. And then as this touring and going for this other band was happening, Terrorvision suddenly popped up and said, do you know what? We'll do it. Why not? Like, oh, okay. And like we could do with a break from the studio. We'll just come out and give it a blast. And I suspect they're going to sort of trial a few of their new songs there as well. So that'll be a bit of an exclusive. There's nothing else in the pipeline from Terrorvision. So as it stands at the moment, we have got the only Terrorvision show this year. And I'm not saying that will stay the way forever, but as far as I know, there is nothing else planned. And so, hello, Terrorvision. Yes, please. Other band, I'm sorry, we can't wait any longer. We're pulling out. And so it just popped out of the blue, and it was perfect.
Excellent. To be fair, I have not seen Terrorvision play yet, ever.
Oh,
so I am really looking forward to that.
Saw them last year. They really have got it, and they've got it in buckets. They are such a good band on stage, professional stage presence, and jump around like they're half their age. It's ridiculous how much energy they have for somebody of their age. It's completely uncalled for. I can't do it.
Yeah, I just look at them and think, have another pint. Okay, so that's the band's nailed down. Looking back on last year and what you're doing this year, what are the sort of like tweaks and little changes you're going to do?
Tweaks and changes. Well, the major tweak, which I would say is more of less of a tweak and more of averting almost whole-scale disaster, which last year almost did happen with the toilets.
Yeah.
Anybody who was there will realize it was a standing joke. Anybody who's part of our team and who was working it that year will know how much of a major nightmare it was. We had scheduled toilets to be cleaned and flushed out halfway through the gig. And when they're supposed to arrive, they didn't. So we phoned up the company and they said, I'm sorry, we've got a contract in Leeds instead. So we're going to do that and not bother with yours. I'm like, oh, and quite rightly so, our guy, Richard Exley, who is our health and safety guy from the council, said, if they're not clean, you can't open. So we were running around like headless chickens, phoning anybody we could. I don't care if it's a man with a bucket, somebody get down here, we need this done. All the trimmings and of rock and roll. We were literally in the shit. And that's so this year we are absolutely doubly protected, and we are making sure that the toilet cleaning company comes on pain of court appearances and suing if they don't. That is the tweak for that.
Okay, I'm glad to hear it.
Well, unfortunately, our supplier for the bar, which was a local brewery called Kellam Island, fantastic brewery, went under. Right, they went bust, and so we can't have them. However, we have 2 other people coming in who have kindly stepped in, and they will both be well known to the rock community. Right. I have yet to formally sign, but everything is yes. All the yeses have been yes, and all the will be there has been said. But I won't jump the gun and name them. But just from my description, it can't be that difficult to guess who they might be. all you have to do is think about beers and ales, and think who is very rock and roll and who supplies them, and you pretty much got it there.
Good.
They've been very kind to us. They've given us a few little freebies and lovely little things, and we in turn will be gratefully promoting them. So that will be a change. We have a mead tent. So it'd be a medieval mead tent. So we've got Vikings there. Next door to it, we've got axe throwing. I don't know if that's a good idea, mixing mead and axe throwing. We think we'll probably do a one-way system. You go axe throwing first before you can get into the mead tent.
That might be wise. Yes. Sharp objects and mead, probably not a good idea.
Of course, yes. All health and safety will be complied with to the T. But we do have both of those. We have showers for the campsite, which we didn't have last time. So we're properly going posh.
Yeah.
Wet wipes will be a thing of the past.
Oh, I don't know. Right. Okay. So what about food vendors? Have you got them nailed in as well?
Yes. Food vendors have sort of been the bane of our lives since the first year.
Yeah.
Vendors not turning up. For whatever reason, I'm not saying they didn't have a reason. I'm not saying it's not valid, but whatever the reason, it didn't help us. First year we had a lot of complaints about why didn't you have any tea and coffee? Well, we would have done, but they just didn't turn up. So this year we have a conglomerate of vendors all under the umbrella of Delilicious. And they'll bring noodles, they'll bring your fish and chips, they'll bring all the different things that you expect. Gluten-free, vegetarian, all the bases have been covered by the one guy, and so he's bringing the whole lot.
Excellent.
And so that's quite, and he was there last year and he was reliable and served great food at a reasonable price, so why not?
Okay, so talking about price, your tickets, they're not overly expensive, are they?
No. £40 without camping, £50 with camping. It's got to be said, I did make an announcement a little bit that camping tickets were very low. Camping tickets are literally a handful, literally one handful now.
Right.
Okay. It has slowed down. People have started doing the day tickets now, so I don't know whether they think there's none left. Trust me, if there's none left, we'll be the first to go, yeah, there's none left. Because we'll be very excited and very happy that we've sold out our camping. But it seems people are starting to think about the hotels now.
Yeah.
So, maybe they've got one eye on the weather and thinking, oh, I don't know, I'm not going to take the chance.
It was pretty good last year. I was, it's sort of like middle September. It was nice and warm, not too hot, dry.
Yeah. It's a sort of a little mini rise in temperature happens about then. So you get a little sort of false summer before winter generally kicks in. So it shouldn't be too bad. But yeah, 50 quid camping, 40 quid arena only for 3 days, 30 quid for a day ticket.
Yeah.
It is incredibly low, and nobody would be surprised to know that ticket sales do not cover the price of the festival.
No.
There's a lot more. Of course, we have vendors who buy pitch fees, who pay pitch fees. We have our merchandise. But our secret weapon is most definitely out the bar.
Yeah.
Regardless of the branding and who supplies the bar, we run it, we purchase the beer, and we sell it. £4.50 a pint, which you think, well, that's reasonably cheap as well if you compare it to Downloads and the Bloodstocks and the O2s and places like that. It's still quite cheap.
Yeah.
But we make enough profit on our beer to make the festival financially viable. And so that is how we can keep the ticket prices down, by running our own bar. I got all the alcohol licensing and things that I applied for. So we can legally operate our own bar. And all our bar staff are volunteers with experience of bar. one of the local pubs here, rock pub called the Church House. They kindly donated. Their guys said, yeah, we'll come on down and do it for the hell of it. All experienced bar people, very well run, no queues, decent beer on tap, and it ran really well with our little token system. But that's how we keep our prices down.
Brilliant. Steve, I'm looking forward to coming to see you in September and seeing the many bands you've got coming. And I wish you every success. Thank you for joining me tonight.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me again.
No worries. Take care.
Bye-bye. Take care.